ndetisanayambi boma episode amene ndizikhala ndikuonetsani kuti this is how you can make money on the internet. Ndinafotokoza kale kuti ineyo chilichonse chimene ndizifotokoza panopa chizikhala related to zimene ndimapanga ineyo, because ineyo I actually make money on the internet. Like, I'm recording this video ndili kunyumba. I am able to travel around anyhow I want to, because I'm actually taking part on the digital economy, and in two ways. You know, you can take part in the digital economy basically as kuti you have digital skills, let's say graphic designing, web designing, things like that, and then you are giving people services. Or you can actually be making money on the internet, like anthu kumagula zinthu zanu on the internet, or actually get a job. And I do all of that. I earn money on the internet. I'm part of the digital economy. And I want to tell you that there's nothing special about me. So let me give you context. I'm going to tell you all about my life, all about how I got to here. And just again, for context, I'm fully employed remotely. So I work for an organization that's based in the US. And ndimapanga develop my courses, ambiri madziwa ndimagulisa my courses online. And then ndimapanga online tutoring. I have a YouTube channel that is monetized. Ndimapeza drama from YouTube. And I also do, web design, graphic design for other people. I don't do much of that, but I do web design. I still design websites. And I have a company called Educate, where we provide web services like hosting and things like that. But let's roll back the tape, because I want to tell you how I got to this point, and you see that it's not special. So you too can earn money on the internet. You can be part of the digital economy. Okay, so before we continue with the video, ngati mukufuna ma computers, ngati mukufuna fairly used computers, ngati mukufuna ma phone ya brand new, original, ma phone ya both, then please contact. I have a shop called Educate Store. We sell the lowest prices you can ever find in Malawi on phones, on laptops. My phone ya car brand new, and then my laptop my car fairly used, but really good ones. We give you warranty. Please contact my sales team. They'll help you. They'll hook you up with a really good laptop. We have so many different good laptops, from cheaper ones to really performant ones. So just you'll find the phone number on the screen, and you'll find it in the description. Talk to us. Let's get a laptop, get a gadget. So we'll start from 2003. That was my swanga standard 8. Alisankhya Chikwawa Secondary School. Nali ku Nkhathe Full Primary School. Amene simukudziwa ko ndi ku East Bank kunse wafumbi mungatsetsereka Blantyre Pathabwa, then Matenga you go on the left side se wafumbi. That's where I lived the first 18 years of my life. So andi Sankhya Chikwawa Secondary School, and I go there. My dad has a house by Chikwawa Boma, which is a bit close to Chikwawa Secondary School. Now Chikwawa Secondary School was purely a boarding school by then, but for some reason my dad went to the headmaster and said wanga ikaya ziendera for whatever reason. I don't know. I didn't like it, but it became a blessing in disguise, because in the Maendera Form 1 and then Form 2, Magainage is certain family. They set up like a bureau, like a computer bureau, where they had computers and people would come, type, print, things like that. And I was super fascinated. I was like, I want to learn this stuff. The computer was just, oh my God, love on first sight, right? And what happened is now the guy, and stuff like that, and he couldn't let me use the computers. So I had to devise a way to learn it. So what I did is my brother, Alfred, was doing school, Livunzu CDSS, Community Secondary School, Malawi. So I said, I want to write a letter to my brother, and I'm going to do it myself. So the guy was like, okay, since you are paying me, that's fine. So I went ahead and I typed a letter with all of the fonts you can think about, bold, italics, and everything in one document. So I typed and I printed it. And then after that, I don't know, he just felt like, okay, you can come talk about Punzila Janchani. And I learned how to use a computer. I would create PowerPoint presentations. I would type. And then I became the fastest typer, actually better than him. And now anthu akabwera amati andifuna Alexander atipangire chani atipangire type and card and stuff like that. So I was now the one who was busy typing, and I wasn't being even paid, but I loved it. I was just so fascinated by it. So computer, basically knowing the computer is what basically started all of this. I had so much passion about it, and I would play games here and there, but mostly I was like, I want to get deep into this. Then I was Form 3, I went to boarding. We had no computers at Chikwa Secondary School, so I kind of like spent 2 years without the computer, and I missed it. And then I went home, ndakalemba university entrance exams, and I go to Chancellor College. Chancellor College, now my brother was now in 4th year, okay? Anakoza bwino kwambiri ku Livu CDSS, anamtengera ku University of Malawi, rather Chancellor College, and then he's in 4th year. And we decided, okay, let's put some money together and buy a laptop, because we need it for writing assignments. So we bought a laptop. I was the one who was so passionate about computers. The laptop was mostly with me. So that's where the learning started, okay? And then this guy installed a software called Macromedia Fireworks, right? And then he showed me how to remove the background from a picture. And I was like, this is fire. I was so fascinated about that stuff, and I went on the internet. I remember, ndinapita ku MTL, ndinakagula EVDO dongle then. And it had unlimited internet. And I would spend a lot of my money. It was time in timati sako, timapasidwa drama, ngati basically upkeep allowance. It was free from the government, which is, thank you government for that. And I would spend much of my allowance just buying internet, because I was like, I need to learn stuff. So I would download tutorials, and then I started playing around with vectors and things like that. And once I was just a bit good, naga ikaposta ba notice board ku library and said, I will design graphics for you. That was crazy. And I actually indeed started designing graphics, and I started my own kind of company. I called it Unique Graphics. Bas, I designed my graphics and actually Chichani. You probably know Vison Tawani. I designed a number of posters for him. Bas, after that, then this other guy installed FL Studio in my computer and Adobe Audition. FL Studio and the software yopangira my beats, like the minute I use my beats, my instrumentations. And Audition is an audio editing software. Mostly I'm ngati my podcast, and that's what I use panova kubanga edit the sound for my podcast here. Then I learned that. It was so fascinating to the extent where it was actually Friday. I remember it was Friday, and I don't know how to make a beat, in a simple way. And I went to my hostel, Shakespeare, and then I started playing around. Sending a gone in Pagana the next day in Pagana Jomba challenge. The next day was Saturday, Dina Jomba church, because of that. And I played around until I made a song. I made a song and I started making more beats. I recorded a certain song. Some people who are from Chanko might know the song. It was called Naked Woman. There was a virus, a computer virus then that was called Naked Woman. It would hide things in your flash drive. And I made a song called Naked Woman. It was crazy. I was just talking about the virus and stuff like that, relating it to a woman and things like that. That's crazy. Yeah, everyone had fun in uni. Come on. So after that, then ndinakabweleka microphone. One of my friends had a microphone and said, and then I started a studio. And I called it Unique Records. It was in my room. And I recorded music. I actually recorded music for a number of people. If you know, Enoch Kabulis just goes by Eno. I've made songs for him and with him. Pro Gain. I've made sounds for him, Ketwayo. Those were they would come on in my room and then I would make beats for them. I've made beats, I would get in, and I do sing sometimes as well, so I would maybe sometimes do background vocals and stuff like that. It was absolute fun, I tell you for a fact. So I kept on learning. So I'm learning graphic designing, I'm learning that. Then I had a friend of mine, Siapela Magunganya. He, like, we were friends. Like, we would just meet and talk things and just come up with ideas. And then we came up with an idea called Chirunga Base. We're like, okay, tizitengama past papers onse my exams in my school by Chancellor College, and then put them on a website. But I didn't know how to code websites. So we found a guy, it's called Patrick, and he knew how to design websites. So we paid him. We used Ndama to like Tinaso Ndama, and then we paid him. Kudazibanga design. But then what I did was like, Akabanga design, and I was there. I would go and be like, let me see how it's going, blah, blah, blah. And I would learn a few things about web designing. And then I remember at some point, do holiday, I downloaded lots of tutorials on web design. And I was so passionate, I told myself, I want to learn HTML and CSS. Ndisala go school on the coding guinea and I done it. And years. So in that room, Sindima, like I was not going out. I remember that time holiday and then Sindima room. I would just stay in the room, just go through video by video by video, and then I would practice and go on the internet and look at to my elements on different websites, get like inspiration and see how can I recreate this on my own. And I would do that. And when I was going back to school, I was so good at designing a website to the extent that I redesigned the whole website at Chirunga Base myself. And then I remember somebody approached me. You probably know Fred and Ted Properties. The first website, I designed it just from that knowledge. And mind you, I was doing Bachelor of Education. Right? Bachelor of Education, Social Studies, majoring home economics. When I was doing all of the stuff I'm telling you about. And then aside from that, I also started I would remove viruses from people's computers. I made that a business. I've done so many things. But the bottom line I'm trying to tell you here right now is that you need to be so passionate about digital things or computer things. You need to be so passionate and you need to look for knowledge, because that's the first thing. That's where you're going to start from. You have to look for knowledge. And the interesting thing is, good knowledge, you have YouTube. A lot of things are free there. You have Udemy. We talk about where you can learn things about like stuff you can buy, web development, Kachan, and things like that. We'll talk about all of that. But I want you to just take you on the journey, take you step by step, and so that you can have like a context and background. So let's continue. So after that, like in the holidays, I would usually stay. There was another bureau now, by Mr. Benny Kukumira, very nice guy. Like much of the stuff that I've learned on the computer from him. He had a computer place, and he would just allow me to go there, download whatever I want, do whatever I want, also shout out to Shiran Kugumira, who was actually working there. And these guys would allow me to do whatever I wanted on their computers. And I learned so much from that. I would download my videos and I learned things like video editing and stuff like that. I learned SPSS, data analysis and things like that from their computers. I had so many tutorials on my hard drive. I had an external hard drive with lots of tutorials, and I would go through and watch them and practice them. And my structure, my way of learning things was like, okay, I will first of all search on the internet, and I will, go through, okay, what would be a course outline? If this was a course, what would be the course outline? And then I would learn through that, and then I would go on the internet and find inspiration. Be like, okay, let me find people who have done a similar thing. Let's say web design, let's say graphic design, and try to recreate that. So I would try to recreate as much of the things I'm interested in, things that I liked from the internet. I would recreate a lot of them, and then I became so good at them. And then I would go out and actually tell people, because that's another very key thing, is once you learn, once you replicate what other people have done, then you can go out and you have to tell people, I can do this for you. That's the last piece. Once you have, created and you have generated all of that, like proof of like, I can really do this, then it's about how to stuff Jabangasedo, and then you grow from that. So, after learning all of that stuff, I started a club called Open Tech. And in the club, what we were doing is we were having days, like I think it was a Thursday, and we would say, "Good, Alisa, minalindi knowledge stuff in Microsoft Excel, graphics, and whatever." Atago punzisa zinzake. Dete maiga maposta ngmana okay, lelo punzisa chago. Somebody would come and teach. So of course it was mostly me who would teach. Now, keep that in mind because that is where my career of providing IT training started way back in university at Chancellor College. Because then in Dimabezoti, I had to prepare for my lessons and I had to teach people, okay, this is Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and stuff like that. And I also had a time where there was this university lecturer, Dr. Gazembe, who helped us with the SPSS training, and I also learned through that. So I was really very active, and I was really actively looking for knowledge and practicing. Then I started a company. Ndukupanga graduate, I started a company. I found some friends and I said, okay, let's start a company, and we called it Unique Multimedia Technologies. And when I went out of school, I registered the company, and then I created our first website, and then we started offering my trainings, and then providing web development services and things like that. Again, I graduated with Bachelor of Education, and here I am designing websites and teaching things. And then, Maluza na panawami. Now, everyone who you just graduated from school, you would relate to this. Wangoba graduate from school, you're not really working and stuff like that, and then the business is not working very well. So I found a job. It wasn't like a job, it was like a contract. Some guy wanted some people to go collect data. And when I went there, Zama service almost. And when I went there, he told me, I think you have a Bachelor of Education. Why don't you, instead, we have these trainings, why don't you teach? So I actually started teaching data analytics, use SPSS and Stata. So we taught in Blantyre, a training in Blantyre. We went to a training in Lilongwe, and then we went to a training in Zomba Chancellor College. I trained people at Chancellor College. And then he fired me because I asked for a pay rise. I said, since I'm doing much here, blah, 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 can you increase my salary? And he fired me for that. That was a blessing in disguise, because then I was like, you know what? I was doing all this myself after all. So I started an arm of my company, Unique Multimedia Technologies. I called it Unique Multimedia Learning. And then I started offering trainings. A lot of you know me for that. SPSS, Stata, Kobo Toolbox, CS Pro, and things like that. So I started in Blantyre training, and then I moved to Lilongwe because I was like, I think Lilongwe do many business ambit. So I moved to Lilongwe, and I came here with nothing, really with just me, my ex-wife, and my daughter. We just came here, and it was a hard life. I was staying in a house, 20,000 kwacha per month, Penyenye area 23, and I was staying there. But Sigma, I had an office, Pachabi Triangle, and I would go there. I would move around town, Bansi, I would mind about Kubi Triangle, Kuloa, Kuchani, Ku Old Town, City Center, my organizations. Kuma was like, we have this training, or you can invite me to give this training, and I built the business from ground up, providing these training sessions. And we had success. We blew up 2015, 2016, 2017, we blew up. We had so many people coming to our training sessions. And then things just started going, downhill. I would advertise for a training and there were not so many people. And then I was like, you know what? Let's stop this. So we totally closed the Unique Multimedia Learning business. While I was doing that, of course, Mavangabi designed my website and things like that. It was really hard to do that, to close up my Unique Multimedia Learning and my training business. It was very hard. But I had to do it. And it became a blessing in disguise, because then what happened is I posted my first video on YouTube called, so it was a Kobo Toolbox training. And what happened then was the Mapunzi service training, we had so many things to cover in a short period of time. And when I taught Kobo Toolbox, people didn't understand it. So what happened is I was like, you know what? Let me just create a video for these people and just put it on YouTube. So I made a video and I put it on YouTube, and then I sent a link to these people. So YouTube was just like, I just want to host the video, right? I don't have a place where to host it. So just put it on YouTube. And then people really loved it, like Antamina in my class manga, they loved it. But then something happened. The video started blowing up on YouTube. There weren't so many like tutorials on Kobo Toolbox. I wasn't worried about, like, I didn't necessarily put the video there to help other people. It was just for my class. But then it started blowing up. Like, a lot of people just, until it actually became #1 video on learning Kobo Toolbox on YouTube. I was mind blown. I was like, okay. And then later, I created another video called SPSS in 15 minutes. It was just an experiment. I was like, can I teach SPSS in 15 minutes? I usually like to say, I could teach anything in whatever time you give me. And I was like, I'm going to try to teach SPSS in 15 minutes. I did it, the basics of SPSS, and that video, after like a few months, it blew up. Right now, it's like the most watched video. It's like over 4 million, closing to 5 million views right now. It was so crazy. And that's when I was like, you know what, let me close down Unique Multimedia Learning. So we closed down Unique Multimedia Learning, and I started creating, video courses. I started, recording video courses, and I put them on Udemy. I created some YouTube videos and put them on YouTube. I asked a friend of mine who was in UK, we'll talk about this. I asked a friend of mine who's UK to help me with monetizing my YouTube channel. So he helped me. Like, if you go right now on my YouTube, you see that it shows as if it's a UK channel. But that's because, I had to, ask someone else to help me out with the monetization and stuff like that. And we did that, it worked. And now I make money on YouTube, right? I make money on YouTube. Like, it's actually good money that if I could stop doing whatever I'm doing right now and just be like, I'm just going to be earning on YouTube. Right? And then I'm also making money on Udemy from the courses that I put there. Again, it's not as good. And that's what made me to start Data for Development, which is my course platform. Because I was like, I'm not making so much money on Udemy, so let me just create my own course platform. So I created my own course platform, Data for Development. I started putting courses there, and we have over 20,000 students now. We do my live workshops, people are buying our courses. So those 3 income sources now, YouTube, Udemy, and my courses are there. And then because people go to YouTube, they look at my videos, and they go to Udemy or they go to Data for Development, sometimes they want coaching or tutoring. And then they would email me and say, hey, I have this assignment, I have this dissertation. And then I have to coach them. I have to help them with the dissertation and things like that. So I have a coaching thing going on. Because of limitation of time, I don't really do it as much. But if I wanted to, I would just go all in coaching, and it's actually good money as well. You're actually earning in dollars. The world just opened up for me. The digital world, the internet world just opened up for me because I have the skills. Because I was like, I'm not necessarily just going to have one skill, right? I decided, I'm just going to go ahead and have all of these different kinds of skills. And that's how the world is right now, is you cannot say, in an secondary bus or in an primary bus, in an bus. You can have all of this. Have you seen, if you go on YouTube, there are actually doctors there, nurses there. They're making money on YouTube. They're even making more money than in their practice right now. They're taking advantage of the digital economy. So it doesn't matter what but there is a way for you to earn in the digital world. Okay? And that's not all. Remember I told you the story of I created a video about Kobo Toolbox. Well, guess what? While I was designing a form for some guys, I found on the Kobo Toolbox website, they are looking for someone to do some work. And it looked like something about training people, writing documentation. I was like, I do this. And I applied. And I wasn't so sure. Like from before then, I wasn't really, I hadn't really been full-time employed. So it was like, we'll see. If they take me, cool. If they don't take me, that's fine. I'll just continue with what I was doing. But it was still a big deal. Deep down, I was like, boy, it would be really nice. And they took me. All right. So I work remotely and it's huge. I'm like, oh, okay. And I can tell you what contributed to that was I was out there on YouTube, on Udemy, teaching about the subject. And it was proof for them that this guy actually already knows his stuff. So you need to learn these things. And I've said this already, you need to be out there, advertise yourself and show people, this is what I do. That's one of the keys. You go on LinkedIn, maybe make tutorials or just talk about the things you do, just be passionate about. But my Facebook, and I would look at that and be like, oh my God, really? Like an employer would be looking at your timeline and be like, I can't employ this guy. Or your LinkedIn is literally non-existent. Like, if they go on your LinkedIn, they will not find anything related with Ummatan. Like, if I have to decide with Ummatan, if I have to come up with an idea of who you are, if I go on your Facebook, on your WhatsApp, on your LinkedIn, am I going to find that? Am I going to see your passion about the things you do? Am I going to see that? Or am I just going to see you sharing kinds of internet? I'm not saying it's bad to go seek for entertainment. I do that as well. I go to Pemperon Palace and I read some of the stories, but that's it. I'll read a story and that's it. Okay? I will laugh on memes. Sometimes I'll throw some memes, but you're not going to define me by that, because that's not what I am passionate about, and I don't really show too much of that. I just use it for my own entertainment, as a break from what I'm doing, some real things that I'm doing, because I know where I want my life to go to. I'm still on this journey of I want to get this, I want to buy this, I want to earn this. And I have to design my life around what I want to get to. I have to attract that life. And I cannot attract this life that I want by being unserious about it. I cannot attract wealth to my life. I cannot attract opportunities from the internet or from wherever if my life doesn't show that. So I do this. I talk about the things that I'm passionate about, and I publish things on my LinkedIn. My life, if you define my life, it's all around the things I'm passionate about, helping other people, and showing my value, showing my worth, and showing what I can offer to organizations and to people. So you need to design your life, right? Life shouldn't just happen to you. You need to design your life. You need to be deliberate about what you stand for. And you see, so I've already talked about the things that I do there. So, I started a company called Prince Trade, where I was helping people order things from China. I no longer do that stuff. I no longer help people ordering things from China. I stopped that, but I still import things for selling. My company, Educate, we have a store where we sell my computers, my phone, and this and that. And I've already talked about data for development. And then I have another company now, Educate, which I've already talked about here. We sell devices, but we also develop websites. We develop software, apps. You probably know the My App, and so on and so forth. And we're developing other apps that are coming your way soon. So how do I earn online? How am I taking part in the digital economy? One, I'm fully employed remotely. Two, I have courses on Udemy Okay, data analytics courses. I earn money from there. 3, I tutor, because people like on request, people come to me and say, hey, we want you to help us with this. And I tutor. And I have the YouTube channel, which is monetized. I get some really good money from that. And then I already at Educate, I do web design. I do design websites actively. I do that when I have time. Graphic design, I do sometimes, depending on how much money you offer me to design your graphic. And we provide web services because I know how to deploy websites. So we provide web services like hosting, email hosting, and things of that nature. And now I also have my digital skills. I'm going to Tandiza as I do all of these other stuff that I talked about. So I have digital skills like graphic design. I design all the graphics for Educate Store. If you go on the Educate page and see all of the ads about computers and phones, I designed those things myself. And all our websites, except for the Educate website, we had people design that at work. But the Data for Development website, I developed that. The Data for Dev course platform, I've configured all of that, put it all together. I do video editing, obviously, because I do courses. Like all the videos I'm giving you right now, I do the video editing for that. Digital marketing, I know digital marketing very well. So I do all of our Facebook ads, all of the strategy and things like that. And global sourcing, so I'm the one who manages the sourcing of products for Educate. So that's it. And I'm not necessarily where I would say I want to be, because we always want to be somewhere, right? But I'm definitely not where I was. And I'm so happy about my journey up to this point. I'm very happy about it. And I think you should do. I want you to take part in this digital economy. I want you to start earning on the internet, doing all these different things I've talked about. So everything I'm going to be talking about is going to be relating to this. So I wanted this video to be the grounding, okay? To be like the grounding of everything. I'm going to be referring back to this video to say, remember I told you about this that I do? This is how you would do it, okay? And now I have a WhatsApp channel. So because we have to have a way to alert each other when there's a new video, when we are having a workshop. We're going to be having workshops, in fact. And we're going to have like a self-paced course platform or something like that. So if you want to be on top of like new videos and stuff like that, I want you to click on the link below. You'll go to our WhatsApp channel, to my WhatsApp channel, and just subscribe, okay? So every time I have something new to say, I'm just gonna be sending there. If I have a resource that I want to share with you, I'm gonna send it there. If I have the new video, there's gonna be a workshop upcoming, and all the workshops will be free, by the way. The live workshops will be totally free. So where I'll be teaching all of this, like the actual hands-on. These videos will just be more of like me talking to you and showing you the opportunities and how you would go about it. But the workshops will be the hands-on. So we're going to have workshops about like how do you design websites? How do you design graphics? How do you create courses? How do you edit videos? And we're going to have workshops on that. So if you want to know those, click on the link below and just subscribe to the channel. All of the updates will be, it's a WhatsApp channel, so all the updates will be in there. Once again, if you want a computer, if you want the lowest price computers, if you want phones, we have those at Educate. So just, there's a phone number in the description. Just click on that and talk to my salespeople. They're going to help you with, hooking you up with really great devices as well. And see you on the next one.